CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Victoria police have one man in custody after a standoff at View Towers. Police were called to the building this afternoon. They say a man had barricaded himself inside his apartment, saying he had a weapon. Police evacuated the suites around the 14th floor and negotiated for several hours before taking him into custody around 3:30 this afternoon.
The suite itself was actually in good order. However, the gentleman did allude to having a weapon, and that's why, again, we had the extra precautions of the emergency response team on hand.
Police say the man is being assessed under the Mental Health Act and the investigation is ongoing. No one was hurt during the standoff. Many people on the South Island and even parts of the mainland felt a shake last night. Natural Resources Canada recorded a 3.3 magnitude earthquake 15 kilometers east of Sydney. It struck shortly after 10:30. Seismologists say they record up to 500 small earthquakes each year on the island, but only a few are large enough to be felt.
These deep earthquakes are often felt over a wide area, but just lightly felt. And whether you feel it or not, depends a little bit on the situation, the type of building you're in, the type of soil conditions. Depends on what you were doing.
The earthquake may have been small, but for some it was a wake-up call and a reminder to refresh emergency kits.
It scared me pretty good. I won't lie. It scared me pretty good. I just suddenly had this incredible awareness of where's my earthquake kit and what should I have done, and was surprised at how much you forget in that moment.
The best I can describe it is it felt like hitting an air pocket in an airplane. The house sort of lifted and fell. And I turned to my husband and asked, was that an earthquake? And he said he didn't feel anything. So I had to go on social media to find out.
Last night's earthquake wasn't large enough to do any damage, but it serves as a reminder that Vancouver Island is in an active earthquake zone. The holiday rush may be over, but an Oak Bay woman had her foot on the gas this morning. The problem is she meant to hit the brakes. Norma Fitzsimmons was headed to a hair appointment when she mistook the gas for the brakes, driving straight into a parked SUV. She says she's now ruined her perfect driving record.
I hit the gas instead of the brakes, which I've never done that in my life before. My 50 years of perfect driving I've got. And wait till Hudson Mack hears about this. He's my huggy bear.
The good news for Norma Hudson is off on holidays. No one was hurt in the crash, and Fitzsimmons says it's a reminder to drivers of all ages that no matter how good your record is, it can be tarnished in a matter of seconds. The province has given BC Hydro one more year to install the remaining smart meters. BC Hydro is 93% of the way there and has installed more than 1.7 million meters. The deadline was originally set for the end of this year, but because of labor and equipment shortages, as well as handling customers' concerns, the utility says it needed more time. BC Hydro now has until the end of 2013. Wait till you see this. Shoppers at a Shanghai shopping mall got a shock when a 30-ton aquarium containing sharks exploded. Security cameras captured the scene, showing the glass wall bursting and flooding the area. Several people were treated for minor injuries. One man suffered a broken leg. The sharks and fish that lived in the tank were killed. The tank was installed 2 years ago, and the mall says there are no plans to rebuild it. In the wake of the elementary school massacre in Connecticut, Los Angeles held a special exchange day for gun owners. Today's anonymous Guns for Groceries exchange allowed owners to hand their weapons over to police, no questions asked. Handguns, rifles, and shotguns were being traded for grocery gift cards worth $100. Assault weapons were worth even more at $200 apiece. The drive-through gun exchange had people lined up around the block. An ice and snow carver out of Anchorage, Alaska has a new spectacle, only this time it's not for a competition. Jim Brown created 20 angels out of ice to represent the children murdered at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut. The display is a tribute to all of the families still in mourning. Retired U.S. General and highly decorated Vietnam War veteran Norman Schwarzkopf has passed away. He was 78. Schwarzkopf led Operation Desert Storm, the military mission that drove Saddam Hussein's forces out of Kuwait in 1991. Before retiring to Tampa, Florida, he served as commander-in-chief of the U.S. Central Command, responsible for military and security concerns involving close to 20 countries. The cause of death has not been released. George Bush Sr. is in intensive care at a Houston hospital. The former U.S. president is now 88 years old. He has been in hospital since November, originally for a cough related to bronchitis. Bush is now suffering from a persistent fever. He's been on a liquids-only diet since Sunday, and a spokesperson says doctors are cautiously optimistic. Nelson Mandela has been released after 3 weeks in hospital. Mandela had a lung infection and had surgery to remove gallstones. The 94-year-old hasn't fully recovered, but he is now able to receive medical treatment from his home. Well, first it was Logger Mike. Now Campbell River has another wooden fixture installed in the downtown core. A giant spider was mounted onto the side of a building next to the Tidemark Theatre today. Local artist Jesse Toso carved the spider back in July as part of the city's annual chainsaw competition. Today, a crowd watched the artist creating a web to go along with the spider's new home.
This is Jesse Toso's carving. My brother, he carved it in the carving contest in July, and it needed a home. So this is where it ended up. He carves something different every year, and this year he decided to do a spider. It's the largest carving that he's done, and it's all from one log, and it took about 4 days.
If you're not afraid of spiders, you can stop by the building along Shoppers Road to get a glimpse of the masterpiece in person.